Are you really stressed out about training your toddler to potty train? Are you confused and wondering what's going wrong? By the end of this video, you'll have a foolproof formula for smooth potty training and you'll know exactly what was going wrong. For the best law of attraction and parenting advice, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video every single Thursday. Hey, I'm Jenny and I've been a life coach and a health coach and a law of attraction mentor for over 15 years now. And I've been helping parents across the globe really figure out how to interact in the best way with their children using the law of attraction. So the first thing you need to know is that we come into this world as independent beings. Children want to be like adults and they want to feel good. So nobody wants to be in college wearing a nappy or a diaper and having a poopy bum. When I was really struggling with my daughter and potty training, someone actually said that to me. They said, "Do you ever see kids in college wearing nappies?" And that really struck home with me that it's so easy as a parent to get into really irrational fears and down the emotional scale thinking when often we're just making way too much of it all. So for example, if you look in Montessori schools, for example, they have all of these different stations set up for the children, and the children can choose different activities throughout the day. And one of the most popular activities is actually a little window with a squeegee and a little window cleaner. And the children literally fight to do this task of cleaning the windows. And that's because it's satisfying for all of us to clean something, but also they've seen their parents cleaning, and children do want to be like parents and they do want to be like adults. So if we start to foster this idea that children are independent beings, they know what makes them feel good, they're connected to an invisible energy source that really directs them to all the good things in their life, and we really trust in their well-being, then they're naturally going to go to potty training. Now, when I've taught these techniques that I'm going to teach you today to my clients, the outcome has been that their children have one day just taken off their nappies, been dry through the night immediately, never even really had any accidents because no one's made a big fuss about the whole thing, and they've just gone to the natural next stage, which is not wearing a diaper or a nappy. So the first thing I teach my clients is that as parents, we're not actually here to instruct our children, and that might be a really weird sounding thing, because surely they are these dependent, tiny little people that need our help in every moment, right? But actually, yes, they need us to clothe and to feed them and to give them somewhere to live, but we really just get to witness them bringing themselves up. And for me, that's a real privilege. So I no longer see myself as the person who has to instruct and guide my children. I see myself as a facilitator and a cheerleader at best. When you trust your children and you believe they know what's best for them, you hang out on the top half of the scale. You really believe that they know what's best for them. But when we worry about them, and don't think I'm perfect, by the way, I spend plenty of time still having negative thoughts and fussing around about my children. I just know what to do to get out of it more quickly. But when as parents we hang out on that bottom half of the scale, we then add to any worry or negativity or anything they might have going on. So what we say to them in that moment when we try to do everything for them is we say to them, "You can't do this thing for yourself, I have to do it for you." And we're actually in a way diminishing their own self-worth. Now, don't worry if you've been believing you've got to guide them and your children are a little bit older, you can change this from day one. Another thing you need to know is that our children choose us, so none of them came down for a really perfect environment. They knew that there would be challenges, they knew the kind of personalities we would have, so it doesn't need to be perfect, but if we can really get away from this idea that we have to show them and guide them in absolutely everything, it's more relaxing for us and the pressure's off for them, and they can naturally do the things that are good for them. So two of the very best techniques you can do to change this situation if you've been worrying or fretting about your child's potty training is to start to write positive aspects about him or her. So start to write down all the things you love about your child, and write down times when they've been really independent, when they've played alone, or where they've interacted really well with other children, or they've figured something out for themselves, or anything you can write down that helps you to create a belief around the fact that they are thriving, they're a great kid, they're doing really, really well. Potentially your toddler is already navigating a nanny or preschool or a nursery already, so is already doing lots and lots of things when you're not there. So they're already thriving, they already know what to do without us as parents. So that's the first thing to do, write that down as early as possible in the day as you can. The next thing is a technique called segment intending, or Tony Robbins likes to call it state control. And this is where, as you're about to go into the moment of your child potentially sitting on the potty for the first time, or maybe sitting on the toilet, or taking the nappy off, etc., decide how you want to feel in that moment. So if you look at the emotional scale on the screen right now, we want to have thoughts that are on the top half of the scale. So we might want to say things like, my child is figuring out life right now. The odd accident here or there isn't the end of the world. They're going to get this, but just like riding the bike, they're not able to ride the bike the first time they get on it, they fall off a few times. My child's thriving, my child's figuring out life. This could actually be fun. I've never seen many kids in college with nappies on, so they all get there in the end. Anything you can say to pre-pave that situation. You might want to say, okay, going into this moment, I want to feel relaxed. I want to interact with all the best aspects of my child. I want to focus on their well-being. I want to be that chilled out mother that I've always envisaged myself being. I want to bring that part of me into this next moment. And doing that in segments of your day, that's why it's called segment intending, because you pre-pave or segment intend into that segment, is extremely powerful because it prevents you from vibing out on that low half of the scale and getting into really spiraling irrational thoughts that we've all had. So have a go at the techniques and let me know in the comments section how you get on. I'd love to hear from you and get to know you better. And if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, hit that bell to be notified for new videos, share it with your friends, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.